He's ready.
Ed, what do you get out of a game like that? I mean, you got a lot of people on the court. I assume that you got to see what their roles are, but people are really developing what their individual things are that they can do for you, it looks like.
Well, I think this, we have really, last couple of days, challenged this basketball team. I was very pleased with what I saw. When we kept things simple, we were really effective. Probably the biggest thing we did tonight, we kept defending through the shot clock. High Point, if you looked at time of possession, they had the ball a lot longer than we did tonight, which was probably by design. And I thought our guys did a pretty good job. The only downside is we had a focal point in terms of Brown, 0, and he got 19 on us. And we got to get those bigs down there and playing better basketball in terms of what their job is for us.
This is really the most we've seen of Cam and his game tonight so far. Just your thought on, I remember you mentioned a year ago when he was redshirt, you fill it up, you can shoot it. What did you see in him tonight? Did he take maybe a little extra step? And how has he developed to lead the game?
Well, I think this, Cameron obviously had a hot hand. I think he only hit the rim once or twice, and the 1-3 pulled in transition was kind of in and out. But all of his shots came within the system. I thought he did a great job adjusting. They tried to run him off the line. He shot fake, took one dribble, hit a pull-up, and those are basketball plays. And I think, just from the standpoint of Cameron has done a great job of understanding his role in what he needs to do, and that's what you're hoping, going back to Rusty's question, in terms of what you take out of tonight, is guys just having an understanding of what they need to do to help the team. And I think guys did a very good job of finding him, knew he was hot, and did a good job with that.
Cam obviously led the charge, but I mean, your whole bench and outscored your starters. I mean, they had 51 points. Just what did they bring to you tonight? It looked like a different energy level came in when you started.
Well, no question, and Cam obviously led the charge there. But Keita has been practicing at a very high level. Was pleased to see, just him. He's getting more aggressive, and Jay Sean. You just look at some of the plays that he made tonight. But there's two more guys that understand. Hey, this is what I'm supposed to do when I go in the basketball game. If we can have that type. Cam's probably not going to shoot it that way all the time, but having that energy and fire coming off the bench, it's obviously going to help our team.
I'm not sure if you did it consciously in earlier games, but these last few games you've put the 4 freshmen out there with Anthony, and I'm wondering if you're kind of looking at that as a unit to insert in the game, just those 5 guys to get a certain thing accomplished in some games.
I haven't done it consciously.
Okay.
I think I said the other day, I don't even know what these guys are anymore in terms of their grades.
Okay.
I didn't know that, but I do. I will say this: I like that group. We've run the young guys in practice, some against the vets, and that always makes for a spirited, scrimmage segment of practice.
Are you kind of getting to the point, or maybe you've been this way already, where you're kind of excited or really looking forward to see what they do next every game you put them in? These new guys?
Yeah, I am, because the one thing I love how they practice, and just that coming forward. I think we were talking about it as a staff the other day, and you remember William Buford. William didn't. I think he was getting like 6 minutes a game until David Laddie broke his foot, and he goes on. He's freshman year in the Big Ten. John and Evan, their freshman year, were awful. First 7 games, and I used to tell them, I got nobody else to put in the game, but you just saw them continue to develop and get better, and hopefully that's what we see with these guys, that they keep making the right strides. They keep learning, I guess, would be the big thing.
Specifically with the zone, we talked about the other day that you guys were cutting off the low close shots, and then you made the joke about getting outside figured out. I mean, tonight they were getting their hands on a bunch of balls. They forced, I think, like 19 turnovers or something like that.
Yeah, I thought we had a lot of deflections too, and we moved better defensively. We had three. Usually we have two guys moving at one time. Tonight we got to three. Eventually we're going to get to five guys moving. But I thought they did a pretty good job of covering where they were supposed to be and covering with length, as you said, deflecting the ball, turning them over.
And then as a whole, obviously the goal is to keep getting better and better, and it's still technically kind of early in the season. But did you think that the Louisville game was kind of like a wake-up call? Jay Sean said it was an eye-opener for the team and like maybe the young guys as far as like from the first part of the season to that first loss.
Yeah, you hope. I mean, we've been in the situation here even last year where you attempted to teach from winning. We've done a lot of teaching from that game, even all the way through now. We're still talking about the game, the things we didn't do well in that game. So, for those guys to go into that environment and come out and hopefully something clicks a little bit more, that's what you want as a coach.
Thad, you mentioned Jay Sean a bit, but what is it about his game that allows him to score those points close to the basket, get those tough shots that he's been getting? He's got a pretty good feel, a knack for angles. He's strong, he's tough. I don't know. He's pretty explosive too. I mean, he gets up and, but when he gets the ball down there, something's going to happen. I mean, he's going to get fouled, or he's going to get a good shot up on the rim, and the position we're playing at, sometimes he has a little bit of a mismatch down there. We went right at zero the one time. I think maybe his first bucket because the kid had two fouls. He got fouled by 10 on that play, but you like what he brings to the table.
The team had 5 players in double digits for points tonight, nearly 6. How big of a benefit is it to the squad to have multiple scoring options, especially contrasted with a team like last year's?
Yeah, well, it's something that you hope can continue. We're going to play games where maybe we don't have as many possessions or whatever, but the more balance I think you have as a basketball team, the better you can become down the stretch. And, without question, getting 5 guys in double figures, almost 6, is something that, as a coach, it excites you.
Had 2 of those were Sam and Shannon, after sort of struggling in the past 2 games, seeing a little bit of a minute reduction in the last one especially. Just what did you see from them tonight? They seemed to play better, just especially demeanor-wise. Were they
as I said yesterday or whatever, I mean, those guys were elated after Saturday's win, and I think that challenging those guys and saying, hey, we need you to play better, they did a much better job with that. And I thought Shannon looked to attack a little bit more and was sounder with the basketball. His defense, he's kind of all over the place and came up and created some turnovers. So in terms of Sam, he had a great move in the second half where he drove and stopped and hit the shot. But, those are the type of things that we need those guys to do and play, as they've been in this program for 4 years.
You mentioned deflections in the zone. You got a lot of them in about the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half. You were up 19 at halftime. Did you say anything to those guys at halftime about not challenging them to not let up or push it forward?
Yeah, no question about that. And I think, from the standpoint, we did a very good job finishing off the second half, or the first half. We closed that out, and the biggest thing for us was going to be the first 4 minutes, because as we told them, hey, they beat a really good William & Mary team the other night, and we're down 15 at home and came back and won the game in the second half. So I said, we can't let our guard down here and let them get comfortable. And I thought guys did a pretty good job with that. Thank you, guys.